allô. Le coq de l'école, le coq de l'école, allô, allô. Le coq de l'école, le coq de l'école, allô, allô.
What's up, Milwaukee? What's up to the rest of the United States? This is your boy Track Lacer, and it's almost over, man. Well, I guess it's not almost over. It is. A new edition story, the final episode. And my challenge to myself as appreciation to y'all, the first video got about 300 views. The second one is sitting right at 100. So I'm going to try to keep this one 10 minutes or right under 10 minutes. And maybe hopefully I can get this one up to 500 views. That'd be nice. So make sure you share this with your friends. All right, so let's get into it, man. As you know, I kind of took notes on a lot of stuff I thought that y'all would be interested in. So the first thing I noticed is, like I said, I'm about 10 years younger than these cats. So some of y'all, it's going to be foreign to you. But just keep in mind, I was a kid. I was a shorty when they videos first started popping. So in 1988, when they did the music video for If It Isn't Love, when I tell you they recreated that video exactly how the music video was, I'm talking about everything. From the way Brooks was talking to them at first, the way that they had the mics separated, the mic stands, the yellow shirt and black sweater that Ralph Tresvant had on, everything. They had it exactly like how it was in the actual video. So a lot of props to BET and the actors for committing that much. Like I said, some of y'all are younger than me, so it might be like, but for me, that was one of my favorite videos. You know what I'm saying? When they doing the moves and stuff. So to see it in 2017 and how faithful they was to recreating that was tight. Probably the funniest moment of the whole finale tonight is Bobby Brown. He was just being a tool again. He was just being a prick. You know how he was disrespecting DC Young Fly, his barber. And so when these extras, I almost called them groupies, my fault. Unfortunately, a lot of the video girls become groupies, but hey, I don't want to judge them. I wasn't there in 1991 or 92 when he made Every Little Step I Take, so I don't know if they were groupies, but obviously DC Young Fly was like, man, like what's cracking? And he wasn't paying attention, and then yank. And then he was screaming, you got me looking like Gumby. And then the next thing you know, he dancing. You know what I'm saying? But the way the music industry operates, and it's one of the only places where you see this, because you got to think about it. The music industry isn't like a regular 9-to-5 job. So trust me, I've done social work. I used to teach high school for at-risk kids. I work with people who have autism, as a job coach. I've done a lot of stuff like that. If I come to work with a crazy haircut, I'm going to probably get fired. But if you are an actor, an actress, or a singer or a rapper, when you do something wild, it catches on to everybody else because you have the freedom to do that without getting fired. So that's probably why he stuck with the Gumby. And keep it 100 with you, I think Bobby Brown might have been the first cat with the Gumby, because I can't remember. After Bobby Brown did it, it became real popular in the NBA. And this cat named Shawn Kemp. Shawn Kemp had the Gumby, but I thought that was the funniest movement of the finale tonight. Um, let me speed it up. Let me speed it up. I told you I'm gonna keep this one under 10 minutes. Uh, when the young boys asked him if they could sing for him on the tour bus, I automatically knew that that was Boys to Men, and I thought that was tight. I kind of knew that the name came from that song when they introduced Johnny Gill for the first time. But I think the most interesting part about that is that back in the days, that's how simple it was. It wasn't about, do you have an album of your own? Do you have a producer to put beats behind your singing voice or your raps? How many records have you sold in your own hood independently? It wasn't about that. Back in the day, all it was is try to get the attention of the people that's on and either rap for them or sing for them on the spot. Shout out to two of my homies from Milwaukee, D Brolick, aka Neckbone. But in the movie, they had a group called Northern Exposure. And in the movie Backstage, when you see these cats rapping for Dame Dash and Dame is just listening, those were some of my partners from Milwaukee. Went to the Hard Knock Life tour at the Bradley Center, Milwaukee. Snuck backstage somehow, and they just went for it. So he didn't sign them, but Benny Siegel got signed by Dame Dash doing the exact same thing. Just ran up on Dame Dash with just bars. So it's just interesting now that 21 Savage and cats like that put their own songs on YouTube, their own songs on SoundCloud, and it just blow up, without them having to chase Drake down. And then Drake hear it that it's popular now. He's like, hey, can I get on it? He just be piggybacking. So that was interesting. Bobby Brown again, just a tool. And y'all gotta excuse me, apologize for me using white slang, calling somebody a tool. But I try not to cuss on my videos, so just when he came to the party and he just grabbed a handful of cake. It reminded me, if y'all ever saw the movie Jason's Lyric, when Bokeem Woodbine, when he came all drunk and almost fell over into the his birthday cake and ruined the whole party. That's what it reminded me of. And it's also funny that Bobby Brown had on a Troop jacket. Like, that's extremely old. Like, if you really want to see some stuff with Troop on it, go to YouTube, write this down as I'm talking about it. Write down MC Hammer, Let's Get It Started music video. Also from 1988, around the time that New Edition was cracking. But he has on basically a suede / velour Troop suit with a greasy Jerry curl with lines going to the back and some gazelle glasses in 1988. So that was just funny to see something from that old fashion right there. The part about Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis telling BBD that they should form their own group with those three, that's 100% true. I guess I don't gotta say that, but I say that because Michael Bivins did an interview on the Breakfast Club saying that it wasn't even their idea. That Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis said, hey, y'all should do that. And they were looking at each other like, well, it's like, dude, don't. Ricky Bell is the singer. Y'all two can rap. Y'all been rapping since 1983. And they was like, yeah, I guess so. So it's just kind of crazy looking back on that, how sometimes some people can influence you more than you. You need to get on that Cat Williams stuff. Start looking in the mirror and say, this is a tall day for you today. Just give yourself compliments like he does to himself. The jealousy that Bobby Brown had after he was, grabbing up the cake. He was like looking around, and it wasn't hatred per se, but you could tell he was dying inside as he was looking at Mike and Ralph and all of them having fun, enjoying themselves. Bobby Brown was having sex with a lot of chicks, including Janet Jackson. A lot of y'all didn't know about that. Like, Bobby was knocking everything down. He was smashing everybody, doing all kind of drugs. And he still wasn't happy. So that kind of shows you that materialism isn't just jewels and clothes and cars. Sex, alcohol, and drugs is a form of materialism in the sense that it's something that you kind of have to fill a void, but ultimately you never really get satisfied from it. So I thought that was kind of deep to see the look on his face. Sherry Carter, she was the one interviewing him on Video Soul. That was like one of the first music video shows they had when I was a kid on BET, and I liked the fact that they was historically accurate, but I really wish they just would have got Donnie Simpson. For those of y'all who don't remember Donnie Simpson, he was the coolest ninja ever. You know, dark skin with straight up green eyes. You know what I'm saying? And he was the main host of that show, and Sherry Carter was like the alternate host. But I just would have loved to see them have somebody either playing Donnie Simpson or actually bringing Donnie Simpson in to sit down, because we haven't seen him in forever, because BET used to be based out of Washington, D.C. Now I think they moved to, I think they're in L.A. now, I believe. But it really was black entertainment television, because before Atlanta, DC was like the first like black, almost all black city, you know. So that was interesting. Um, it was a real awkward and uncomfortable interview because Michael Bivins was straight stunting on Ralph, and but I kind of liked it because in some ways they was being honest about the things that they didn't like about each other, but they was just all kind of laughing about it. So nobody seemed real salty, especially Bobby. Like I told you, Bobby has just been a total tool, like all three parts of this series. But he was able to kind of pick fun at himself, like, I just want to ask them to let me back in the group, you know, and he was fake crying and stuff. So you could respect Bobby a little bit for kind of calming down and not really hogging the spot like that, like he usually always do. Um, okay, man, I'm already at 12 minutes, so hey, the whole thing about trying to keep this under 10 minutes, man, it ain't gonna happen. You know, blame it on me, man. Maybe it's just I run my mouth too much, but hey, I mean, the thing is 2 hours long. It's hard to get all these points, so let me go ahead and get them in. Hopefully, I can still get my 500 views. Um, when they asked them when the new edition album was coming, this interview was in 1990. And keep in mind, I know some of y'all getting tired of me talking about, you know, the record business aspect of this stuff, but like I said, that's kind of what my background is. They kind of did Wu-Tang Clan before Wu-Tang. Like the fact that Wu-Tang Clan was a rap group that came out in 1993 with 9 members. And then every year after 1993, 94, 95, 96, 97, all of their solo members, all the members of the group put out at least one album. And that had never really been done before for a rap group with that many people. And then you get a solo project from all of those artists. But really, New Edition was the first people, and if you think about it, they all did it in the same year, in 1990. The only one that doesn't count is Bobby Brown, because he was already cracking back from 1988. Like I said, this album was still selling copies 2 years later. But Ralph Tresvant's album came out with the single Sensitivity, Johnny Gill's solo album, and Belle Biv DeVoe, Poison. They all came out in 1990, in the same year. So that was really ingenious on the part of MCA Records to take all these cats that everybody had been used to as one group and all give us their individual flavor in 1 year. So they probably don't get enough credit for that, for being innovative, you know, because from that perspective, you will never get an Eazy-E having a solo album apart from NWA. You know what I mean? You would never have Will I Am or Fergie doing a solo album separate from Black Eyed Peas. New Edition kind of paved the way for that, for the most part, in terms of urban music. So that was tight. What else we got, man? Oh, Bobby is just so OC, just missed the entire show. And then it's just crazy that you wanted him to kind of fall on his face and be wrong for once when he said the champ is here. He's all excited, and they done did a whole show, but the crowd was screaming Bobby. You know what I'm saying? So he still got rewarded for bad behavior and still was able to go out there and perform. So that's kind of bogus. I kind of hate that he was able to do that, but it's supply and demand. The fans really wanted Bobby back then, so they got what they wanted. And then the fact that later on, when they were in New Mexico, the fact that he got mad that Ronnie DeVoe interrupted his set and caused that fight when somebody almost got shot, it's just incredible to me that Bobby was so self-centered that he got angry. But if you listen to what Michael Bivins said, that's only going to give us time to do 2 BBD songs, and then Johnny Gill can sing My, My, My. He can do 1. He literally hogged all the time for himself, and that's not cool at all. Now, this will be my last little music industry tidbit. When Ricky was real upset with his wife and she didn't understand, can't you ask the label for an advance because we about to lose our house? There was no advance for anything because MCA Records wasn't interested in no Ricky Bell solo album around that time. But the other thing is that he told his wife, MCA is suing us. And he said that they garnishing our publishing checks. But the music industry technical legal term that he didn't use was breach of contract. And the way the record label looks at it, okay, y'all had a fight, y'all messed up the show one night, okay, whatever y'all got going on, basically you need to get your hands back on the road and finish these shows. But they literally quit as a group and broke up and quit the tour as a result of that fight. But you contracted. So once you sign this contract for this record label, that also includes shows. So when you refuse to do a show, that's a breach of contract. So all the money that's lost from each date of the tickets that either was sold or was going to be sold, aka future earnings, they hit you for all of that. And any publishing you getting from Candy Girl and from Mr. Telephone Man, all that stuff, no, man, let me get that, player. Yeah, I need that. You ain't seen none of that. So that was a very realistic moment in the movie because Ricky Bell's woman just didn't understand. But he was like, no, ain't no money. Dude said, I do that for a living. He said, that don't translate nowhere. Probably the most 100 moment of the movie. That applause, that's a salute to the strong black woman. When Ronnie DeVoe was tripping and basically kind of acting weird when they was trying to plan the wedding, she just got right to it and said, the only reason you acting like this is because I'm going to have a maid of honor, I'm going to look good in my dress, and your friends is all in New Edition. You don't got no other friends besides them. And you need to call them and just make it right and have them at the wedding so you can be yourself and enjoy yourself. So, salute to a strong black woman that can pull a brother in and just kick was real to him without really nagging him or putting him down. So salute for that. Um, Salute to Bobby Brown for having a mature moment and apologizing to Ronnie for how he acted. And then salute to BET because they're the ones who put this together. What a lot of people don't know is that this was supposed to be a movie on Paramount, I think. It was going to be 2 hours long, and I think things just kind of fell through. But with Straight Outta Compton doing so well, it increased the interest for these type of black music biopic movies and TV specials. So, man, I enjoy talking about these to you. The funny thing, though, obviously, I tell y'all to come down to where the red button is and subscribe to my channel. But I left a link in there on this video. I did a recap of the Miss Chalet movie, Surviving Compton. And when I did a recap of that movie, that video has 4,300 views. So I'm not complaining that my first one only got 300 views, but I'm just kind of amazed. Basically, y'all was more interested in Miss Chalet than New Edition. Or maybe just YouTube wise, but I'd be willing to bet that this series probably got better ratings on BET for New Edition than Miss Chalet got on Lifetime. But after you subscribe to my channel, make sure you hit the link so you can watch my Miss Chalet review of that movie, kind of take you back to memory lane. It was only a few months ago. And leave your comments. Let me leave you with this. Who was the best actor of all the guys from New Edition? Which character did you enjoy the most in terms of their acting in this series? Mine would be Brashear, aka Hakeem, portraying Michael Bivins. I thought he killed it. And also, let me know. I guess I'll compare it to Marvel Comics, like a movie universe. What movie or spinoff would you want to see if BET made another movie based on any of these members? Who would you want to see? You know, in terms of something else. Believe it or not, instead of Bobby Brown, I think I would be even more interested to see a BBD movie. Mainly because Michael Bivins basically put out the most successful R&B group of all time. Believe it or not, Boyz II Men sold more records than New Edition. And it's crazy that the cat from New Edition was responsible for discovering them. So, alright, so that's the assignment. Let me know which character you thought was the best. Let me know of everybody involved in this story. What movie would you like to see bounce off of that? And then make sure you check out my Miss Chalet movie that I did before. Salute. Good night.